Welcome to the podcast, talking about noise. I am your host, Art Moore.
And I am your host, Eric Hansen.
And for the first time, we are on YouTube as well. So if you're listening to us in the car or listening to us anywhere else, we're also on YouTube. So you can check us out, subscribe, and see what we actually look like and how we talk together.
And hold hands.
Oh, my goodness.
Stay away from me, man.
So anyways, we are trying this out. Hopefully this will be an amazing experience, and we will be able to continue to bring this to you every week. I'd like to thank our cameramen who are helping us out. Over here on our main camera is Milo Moore, and over here on our secondary camera is Ethan Moore. They're both my sons, and they're very talented.
I never would have guessed that.
You never would have guessed that.
With the last names, no.
Really? That's so interesting. We're going to run the whole production here from this MacBook Pro, which is like 12 years old. And
still works.
And it still works, just
kind
barely.
of.
Yeah. It's
barely.
like the worst MacBook. Like the screen is cracked and everything's kind of a mess. And
you purposely went out and bought this.
Well,
for mobile recording.
I was looking for something that was inexpensive for mobile recording and that worked and that had a viable FireWire. And unfortunately, MacBooks are the only option.
And that's the problem we are running into because we both have FireWire interfaces.
And we're not upgrading. We are not spending the money to upgrade.
I need to upgrade, right?
I guess so.
And so I'm gonna try and do a live show.
Yep.
And I was like, I need a FireWire interface. No. You can't find them anywhere. They're dead.
It's hard
FireWire
to fire,
is dead.
Especially for laptops. You know, it is a mess. You get the Ricoh FireWire chipset issues and all that.
Yeah, so I am just going to go get a USB one.
Yeah,
moving on.
Definitely.
That's the way it goes.
But you don't have to worry about that, listeners. You should be on USB already. If you're not,
be ahead of the game.
You can
don't be like us.
Contact us at talkingaboutnoise@gmail.com, and we will talk about your woes because they are great indeed if you are still on FireWire. I have three interfaces, the FirePods that are stacked on top of each other. So I have 24 inputs, XLR inputs, which is great for the studio. But it is also a mess to keep them working. I have to keep opening them up and changing out capacitors. And I just did that a couple weeks ago where I actually changed out the latest capacitor on the latest one that we're
So you should make a goal by the next breakdown. Just move on, man.
But it's so
We'll
expensive.
hold a funeral and everything.
24 inputs is like at least the minimum is like $3,000.
No, just get a what?
$3,000.
What?
Just to get 24 inputs.
No, but you have 3 boxes. Just buy them one at a time.
But I can't. They're not compatible with each other. I can't buy one and like slip it in there and be like, look, hey, here's a Focusrite.
Or you could donate the $3,000 to me.
Why am I spending $3,000? I'm not going to spend $3,000. I'm not going to give it to you.
Better.
We're not going to do it. All right. Anyway.
So.
Enough about FireWire.
Yes.
What have you been working on, man?
Oh, man, I've been busy.
You've been creating a live show with laptop and an interface and Machina in your guitar work?
Yeah.
Which guitar are you using? Electric, acoustic?
Yeah. I think you were asking what brand.
No, I don't care about the brand, but are you playing like electric guitar?
No, it'll be electric.
Acoustic?
Well, I'll have acoustic too. Because, I do both.
Cool.
I'm a bi-guitar man.
You're a bi-guitarist?
It's a bi-world.
Very good. You're so weird.
I know, right? I've been writing a lot of music. So the year of 100 songs is on.
Yes, you've been writing 100 songs. That's what your goal is. Your goal is this year to write 100 songs.
That's the goal. So I actually recorded an entire arrangement. I'm working on actual lyrics on my first song, recorded the drums and guitar part. Well, I've recorded the drums for at least 14 songs.
Really?
And when I say recorded, I mean I used Machina. But
nice.
Which is just as awesome.
Hey, Machina's pretty cool. I've been looking at that thing.
Magic.
I think I kind of want to do it. We'll have to get an overhead camera and have you come in and do a Machina demo.
So I'm actually a little intimidated because I watch a bunch of tutorials and these guys are good.
Yeah, the finger tappers. I don't know what to call
we're calling them. Those F tiers. Yeah, the F tiers. So yeah, they're a whole bunch of tutorials and they'll just like bust out this this awesome beat, and I'll be like, yeah, that was great.
You're like boom chick, boom chick, boom chick.
Yeah, look at me.
Chick, chick, boom chick.
I got skills.
Boom chick, boom chick. Waka 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 boom.
Skills with
chick,
a Z, yo.
chick.
So
Exactly. Hilarious.
anyway, I'm getting there. So yeah, I've got 14 songs with drum tracks, and we're on our way.
So we're on our way to a new album.
And you just finished
Your new EP.
New EP. Well, live sessions.
The Live Sessions EP off of the Forever Timeless song list. You went through and made YouTube videos, recorded everything
5
in live performance, and you're releasing it as an EP.
Yeah. Pseudo live performance.
That is awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So good.
So the reason I'm going live, I think I told you this, or we talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Where America's Got Talent. I got invited, and then they actually responded and said, "Where's your live show? Your YouTube video is great and all. Where's your live YouTube video?
We want to see you doing this on stage by yourself."
I went, oh.
America's Got Talent. So we didn't talk about the next level where you haven't said anything about them wanting you to prepare a live show and have that ready.
Yeah. So
well, let us do the video work. We've got a couple great cameramen here, and we'll put that together and help you put that, a video together of that.
Okay.
Where you're performing it all live, right?
Yeah.
That's what you need?
Okay, yeah.
Or not.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I'll get there.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous in front of the camera.
It's easier if you don't have to be like the cameraman at the same time. The cameraman, the sound engineer, and the performer.
Yeah, that's really hard.
Let us help you out.
Okay.
All right, should we move on to news?
Oh, yeah, I've got a good one. I'm so excited.
I don't know how to do this. Now that we're on video, it's kind of weird. We're going to play the segment music to start the news segment. And that in the audio world, that means a lot. But in the video world, we're just going to be staring at the camera.
No, I think we should have an action. Go.
Here we go. That did not work.
Nope, didn't
that was
work
terrible.
At all. That was awful.
Okay.
Okay, Art. Imagine. I want you to follow with me. Use your imagination here. You have scheduled a gig in Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
I would never do that.
You have a gig in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Okay?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
Yes.
MISSISSIPPI.
For some reason, that is one of the things we take pride in elementary school is how to spell.
Being able to spell Mississippi.
It was like the qualification. Do you want to be my girlfriend? Can you spell Mississippi? No.
Check yes or no. Also, can you spell Mississippi here?
No, didn't work.
I need it for the spelling test right now.
Still miss Erica.
This is crunch time.
Erica from 6th grade.
Really?
I know she's watching. All right.
No, I'm going to just a little note here, but you keep moving away from the mic. So
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Here we go. How's that?
When you just so you know, like when you go to turn towards me, you've got to move your head so you're still in front of the mic.
I know.
Eric's mic technique is not great. Let's just say that.
All right. Okay. So, you have a gig scheduled, okay? But your gig gets canceled. Why does it get canceled?
Because Kanye has taken over the gig. I'm sorry. Go ahead. We don't like Kanye here. If you're new to the YouTube show, we do not like him. Go ahead.
No,
Keep
we
going.
love Kanye
We
so
love
much.
Kanye.
Kanye watch.
That's with a whole load of sarcasm and quotes.
No, he's made the Hall of Fame, like our Wall of Fame, is a shrine to Kanye.
Now we have to make a Wall of Fame. You gestured to the back. Okay.
I will tell you this.
We'll get a poster of Kanye, put him up.
I listened to his latest album and I was like, oh crap.
And you like it.
I like it. It was good. And I'm like, I'm so ashamed of myself.
You know, Ethan was asking me, our cameraman over here, was asking me what I thought about Kanye's music. And I just told him, I'm not enough of a rap expert to weigh in. And my personal feelings about him, I think, would influence me too much.
No, that's when you need to give a pretentious answer. Like, well, obviously he's the Rachmaninoff of his generation. But if he was a Sibelius, you know what I'm saying, right? I mean, come on.
Those are the only two classical composers you know. Is that right?
What?
I'm just kidding.
I know my stuff.
That's impressive you didn't use Beethoven or Mozart, though.
Yeah.
Because you could have gone that way.
That's because I know my stuff.
He knows his stuff, people. Every time I look at the camera, I got a point. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah,
okay,
you're kind of obsessed with pointing.
Sorry.
It's kind of your thing. Okay. Okay. You ruined my story.
I'm sorry.
You have a gig.
We're in Mississippi.
Hattiesburg,
Mississippi.
And your show gets canceled. Why?
Show gets canceled.
The ABC, Alcohol Beverage Control, decided that your show is too dangerous for public consumption because it has twerking in it.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, so listen to this.
No twerking, people.
Big Freedia had to reschedule a concert. She scheduled because her shows are famous for her twerking.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
Of course. Okay. So
as are my shows.
This is true art. Okay. So the ABC, which is odd that they call themselves the ABC, Alcoholic Beverage Control, in Mississippi, warned the venue that was hosting the thing. They saw that the description of the show said, quote, the word gyrating was in there. And this made it sound like some kind of strip show or whatever.
Oh, my goodness.
And so they shut it down. They said, nope, you can't come.
Without understanding the explanation.
And so...
Although twerking is pretty darn bad.
Well,
I have to say.
So her whole show is her and like 10 girls twerking at the same time. That's what it is. So she creates a big meme, pictures. We picture Mississippi and it says, Mississippi is a right to twerk state.
Yes, that is awesome. A right to work.
Right to twerk state.
Oh, man.
Isn't that
They
great?
could have just done it without the two in there, but a right twerk.
Right? No, you had right to twerk.
Right to twerk. Okay,
because it's play off of right to work.
Right to twerk state.
Okay, so after
I'm saying
explaining,
road trip.
I know,
videotape
right?
ourselves on the Mississippi State line,
going
twerking. Yep. All right.
Okay,
that's what we're doing.
After
right, hey, are you guys in? You guys in? You want to go?
After
cameraman,
the ABC realized that gyrating does not necessarily constitute nudity and sexual conduct. The concert was rescheduled. And as a big announcement, Big Freedia is anointing the event as, I can't believe I'm saying this, the first International Twerk Day.
Oh my goodness.
So
I love that. She's like calling it the International Twerk Day. She's taking full control of this.
And even the guy at the ABC admits our laws have been slower to change than the rest of the country. Mississippi,
but
you think so?
I would say that's an interpretation of the law rather than the law itself.
Yeah. So anyway, let the twerking continue.
Let the twerking continue.
We've moved on.
That's so weird.
I love it. Isn't it great?
Oh, man.
I'm here to bring out the best stories that music has to offer.
Hey, that is a pretty good one. I like that one.
For you, team.
That's right. You at home, sitting in your basement studio, watching us on YouTube, we bring you the best of all the twerking
high-quality
news
entertainment
in the United States.
Eating Cheetos in your underwear.
Eventually, we're going to get some international correspondence as well to make sure that we can get our international twerking news.
Yeah, we've got a lot of international listeners. So
yeah, we do.
Okay.
So,
do you have any news for me?
I don't have any news. Not with that news.
I know.
Not with that hitting the top of the charts.
The only other
there.
news I wanted to bring up, was that an article came out this week that showed what Rhapsody and the streaming services, what kind of financial shape they're in.
Yeah.
They're in bad shape.
I can only imagine.
Bad. Rhapsody is losing close to $3 million a month.
A month?
A month. They'll be gone soon.
What about Spotify? Spotify, I think, tends to be the most popular.
So Spotify has done everything in their power to make their stuff as ambiguous as possible, so no one really knows
what they're doing, where they are.
But the people estimate they're breaking even at this point.
Oh my goodness.
Which is good because they were losing money hand over fist. Tidal has not made any money whatsoever.
Yeah, Tidal is dead in the water.
Someone posted a job interview, or not a job description, asking people to come work for one of these streaming services.
Right.
And it says, how would you like to work for Sweat Equity?
Oh, no.
And gain valuable experience in the industry. Sweat equity. That is like the buzzword. You're not getting paid for a very long time or ever. Good luck.
Oh my goodness.
So
that's I get requests for that all the time for people who want me to record their music. They're like, "No, it's great exposure, man. It's great exposure." I was like, "I don't need to be exposed. I need money. I need cash. I don't need you to tell your friends who also don't have money to come record with me. I need money." Some cash.
So
lay it down.
It's
on the
interesting.
table.
As much as
Count
the
it
musical
out.
purist that I want to be in life, it's still all about them. Them Benjamins, yo. Still all about them Benjamins.
Well, I'll take some Abraham Lincolns, man. That's
I have to think about that one.
Benjamins
He's on
are
the
$100
penny,
bills.
right?
Benjamins are $100 bills. Lincoln is on the
penny.
$5 bill.
Oh.
Who's on the 20?
I thought you were going clear down to the penny.
Who's the 20?
I was like, yeah, you totally sell out for a
No,
penny.
George Washington is the one.
Can't believe
We're not going to go into this
this.
because I'm definitely going to mess this up.
Ooh. Hey, how do you spell Mississippi, Art?
Mississippi. I'm so excited about that one. All right, moving on to our production segment. Today we are talking about. Oh, I'm going to play the music first. Here we go.
Actually, what you need to do is you need to like have a banner that goes across us.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's,
Covers us up.
That's production that's never going to happen.
Or we should just hold up a sign. Like just
Okay, all
and
right.
back down.
I'll put you in charge of the signs for next week. Sound good?
Actually, I could do this.
Yeah, I think you could do that. Use GIMP or Inkscape or whatever you want.
So you've seen AWOL Nation's new latest video, right?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh. So it's awesome. But let's say there are partially clothed individuals.
Oh.
And by partially, I mean none at all. But they're covered up by lyrics over there.
Over their
the lyrics
stuff?
will show up. And I'm like,
Oh man.
we need to do something like that art production quality wise.
There's a level of not wearing clothes that I'm comfortable with, and this is about it.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying that you take your I was saying with the lyric, like I'll shut up now.
I don't
Let's
know what
move
you're
on.
saying. I don't know what you're saying.
Woo.
All right. Sorry about that, folks.
Mental image.
Today we are talking about recording bass guitar, boom, 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 boom. And actually, I'm going to have our one of our cameramen go in and grab the bass guitar out of the blue room, and we will show you which one I used today for today's examples.
Oh.
It's an Ibanez. It's the green one. It's an Ibanez RG something, and it's a great little bass guitar. I got it for like $300 like 10 years ago.
Cool.
And it's been rocking. But we never have really kind of approached bass guitar processing, how to do that, how to put things together. And I thought we would go through over a couple of different examples today on how to get your bass guitar kind of rocking and pumping and going. And we got some examples here. So the first thing we're going to play here, I played bass guitar and I played... here it is. This is our test guitar here. And if you're at home, I'll just describe it. Let's see. This is
big.
the Ibanez GSR 200 FM. So,
I love that name.
yeah,
It's
it's just a nice
hot.
little easy 4-string. I have a yellow strap on it, which is the only identifying marker on it, and it's got this great green flame
Actually,
top to
I
it.
think I should do that with my like band name, The Swoop, 250 GR 2X25.
2X25.
I don't know.
Just go like 2X too far. Just make it weird. Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to hand this back to our cameraman.
like what runs in that little brain of yours? I'm just wondering.
The brain is not running.
That
I don't know
was
if you know that, but
condescending,
it's
wasn't it?
just not running at all. Okay, so the first example, I used Steven Slate drums and one of their rock verse things for the drum track, and I played the bass. So here it is, Naked. Okay, so you can hear.
Dude, look at you keeping the beat.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, man.
That was right on.
You can hear the bass sounds awesome, and that's the very first thing about recording bass is that make sure the bass sounds good. So this one has all kinds of controls on it, and I've tried to look up what the controls are exactly, and I can never figure it out. So for me, it's a lot of
knobs.
The knobs on the actual bass itself.
Yeah.
So for me, I've got to actually just kind of play around with it until it works, until I get the sound that I really like.
The bass I have has a knob that's broken, but I've never really noticed.
Because you don't turn it?
Because I never turned it. So I was like, this one doesn't turn.
Yeah. So right. This bass actually has an active pickup system, which is nice. It's got electronics in there, and it requires a 9-volt battery. And so you have to actually... You have to really kind of it allows you more tone control on the bass. And so I really like that. The bass here already sounds great. So if you just went with this naked, no processing, no compression, no EQ, nothing special on it, it would probably sound not too bad.
Well, it'd sound cool. In the mix, you'd still have to add some EQ and compression.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, if you had to, you could definitely go there. So I record bass in the studio every single time direct in. So that means that I am putting the instrument line into the interface, okay, the instrument line on the interface, or I'm using one of my preamps that has an instrument line in it, and I go in there. And sometimes I'll do that for color. Like I have a little tube preamp that I like, and I will plug it in there and get that to work. So that's kind of nice.
Yep.
I generally never mic up a bass cab. You
don't have
so
one.
hard. I don't have a bass cab. I've had people bring them in.
Yeah.
And if I need to have a bass recorded live, I have a great crate 4x12 with an amplifier that sounds very good as a bass amplifier. So it works just fine. But the thing is, I don't generally do that. And here's the reason. If you look at the length of this room, and we're pretty long in this room, what are we 24 feet maybe? 25 feet, we're going to say. The bass waves are just as long as this room. So you're going to get it hitting the other side of the room and coming back on itself. And when it comes back on itself, you'll create a node. And that's where the bass will get very, very loud in one little tiny part of the room. And it's very hard to control.
And that's where you want the microphone. Oh, wait.
No, that's not where you want the microphone. Okay, so generally...
Let's find out where it's most annoying, and we found it. Right here.
That's how many people do drums, actually. They're like, all right, I'm going to put the mic right in the most annoying spot for drum. I'm kidding, of course.
No, you're not. It's true.
So, just watch out for that. I like to record it direct in and do my processing from there, and it sounds great. If you really want to mic up a cabinet, then I would use a large diaphragm dynamic mic like this one or like this one. They're broadcast mics, and they're fantastic for catching those low ends. All right.
But just go direct in.
Yeah.
Just direct.
Just direct in. Now, I did the basic processing on this. I applied compression and EQ. And for the compression, I used the Rocket compressor by Stillwell. And for the EQ, I used the 1973 Neve Clone EQ by Stillwell as well. These are both plugins. They're not hardware compressors. I'm mostly in the box these days. So here is how that sounds. Let me play the naked one, and then we'll play the compressed and EQ'd one.
Whoa.
Okay, so that's naked.
Was
that's naked. That's no processing. Now here it is with compression and EQ applied.
Here we go.
I have a boost at about 5,000 hertz, about 7,000 hertz around there, and then a boost again at about 100 hertz. So here's how that is. Okay, so I think that's interesting. You can definitely hear the smushness of it, the compression of it. It's a little smoother, and you don't have what?
So it's really funny. I was just reading an article about how they talked about how perceived loudness, like for some reason we humans, if we hear something's louder, we instantly think it's better.
Right.
That was louder than the first time you played it just in our headset.
Right, because I
the first time I was like, oh, that's so much better. And then you were like, that's naked. I'm like, I meant it's not.
Yeah.
Better.
At home, you won't notice this because the levels will all be set. But as we start here, I tend to try not to blow our headphones or our ears out as we do it. And so that's I will adjust the volume mid-session here.
Great.
Mid-podcast.
You're gonna mess me up. I'm gonna be like, oh, that was the best take ever. And you're like, I didn't do anything to it, man.
Okay, so I think that's interesting. If you hear the compression, and I have it compressed, I think I put the ratio at about 8, and I have, which is a high compression, and it compresses it probably about 20 decibels, maybe even 30, on its really high stuff. So
for real?
This one is smashed. I like a smash, smooth kind of bass sound.
Okay.
So you can kind of play around with that a little bit with the ratio and the threshold, and you can kind of determine like how you want that bass, if you want it to be punchier or if you want it to be a little more smoother. I have a tendency to kind of like try to make it a little more smooth because I want it to be that bass that the guitars can build upon.
Okay.
But sometimes especially if you're doing like funk or R&B, sometimes that bass needs to be punchier and kind of more fun.
Yes.
All right. So the next one is same processing, but I added a distortion effect to it, and I just used the JS distortion built right into Reaper, and that worked really well. I love that little distortion plugin for all kinds of stuff.
I've never used it.
It's so awesome because there's like 4 controls, and it just works.
I just use the amplitude, but cool.
Yeah. So here's another option for the distorted bass guitar. And that's going to happen. And this is live. We're not editing that out. That's actually in there. Okay, here's the real example. So you can hear that distortion.
I don't know if I like it.
It's that fuzzy kind of distortion.
Too fuzzy.
Yeah, it may be too fuzzy for you. It's definitely too fuzzy for you. But these are the exact same settings I used on one of the songs on your new EP.
Well, that's probably because it called for it.
Exactly.
But in this instance, you want to hear the pop.
Yeah, you do want to hear the pop.
Fuzz,
it's kind of more funky than it is, kind of like...
Doesn't work on this.
But the distortion is important for bass guitar if you want it to start cutting through. If you have very heavy distorted electric guitars, you want to get distortion in there on your bass. And sometimes a little bit of distortion, even on what should be a clean bass guitar, will help it come forward and be just like awesome.
Or just record like 10 bass parts and like layer like a different layer of distortion for each one.
Yes.
Actually, that's a horrible idea.
That's actually the very next thing I did.
Oh, dang it.
But not quite to the level you were talking about. And that's using parallel tracks. So I had the original bass guitar with no processing on it and that distorted guitar coming in. And here's how that sounds. So again, heavy compression, and you can kind of hear a little more body in it, but that fuzz is still really prominent in that example.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it works for some music. I mean, if you want to sound like Muse, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, that's definitely a Muse kind of bass sound. But especially if you're doing bass guitar with synths, distorted can really help pull that together.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. All right. I have just like 3 more examples because we've gone through this whole thing and we have just done like a regular bass guitar track with no amp simulator. So this is just processing the actual sound itself with compression, EQ, and then a little distortion. But what would it sound like if you used an actual amp simulator in there?
Better.
Possibly. Maybe just different. Okay, so the amp simulator I used here was the very free and very awesome Ignite SHB1, which is an awesome amplifier.
Free
and
is
then,
awesome.
I love free. And then I used the same thing from Ignite, the NADIR, their convolution amp simulator thing, the cabinet simulator.
Really complicated.
It's not complicated.
We
but
should get graphics
it's really great.
that like show the picture right here.
Oh yeah, again, production that's never going to happen.
I know,
but maybe we will. I don't know.
That
our cameraman says he should. I think we just had to volunteer for our new production editor.
Excellent.
Are you going to edit this? No. All right. We'll keep talking about it. Okay. So here is the amp sim with no distortion, and I put the compression first in the chain. So we have compression. We have the amp simulator with all the settings flat, where they just come in, just as they are. I have the cabinet emulator, and then the last thing is I have the EQ. So here is what that is going to sound like.
Ooh, is it getting hot in here?
Yeah,
Ooh.
dude. That sounds good, doesn't it?
That was good. Yeah, I got to get rid of the fuzz for this particular
particular, I think the fuzz is nice to get rid of.
That gave me chills.
But then again, one of my my picks of the week for the last time we did the show was the
Mark.
From the Scott Pilgrim show. And that's exactly what that bass sounds like.
Is that what it was? Mark Black.
It's okay. Here we go. And this time I put the compression last. I think that's interesting. Order may make a difference in the sound as well.
May? It does.
It does. Here's the compression last after the chain.
I liked it first.
Yeah,
actually.
I like the compression first, but I think having
I never would have thought
the
that.
options.
Of course, you're compressing hard, really hard.
It does end up compressing harder with coming in at the last of the chain, and especially with this example, you're not getting the kind of the pops of the attack.
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice.
That's
all right,
interesting.
Last example, guys, and then we're done with this one. This is going to be the amp simulator with distortion first in the chain. Okay, so we have everything the same way we had in the last one, and this is the one with the amp in the distortion. So.
There's not enough memory.
Okay, good to know. We're going to be on this camera right here. Sorry, guys, we're learning how to do this.
Camera.
Is that one dead too? Oh my goodness, our cameramen are just like crazy over here. All right, here's the last example. So,
Interesting.
My least favorite example, but in the right situation, it just might work.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
All right.
I liked that one with the compression first and then the amp. Amp was tight.
Amp was
Tight,
tight.
yo. Tight.
The amp
Sounded
was
good.
tight. All right, folks. We're going to move on here. This is the only camera that's working so far. We ran out of memory on the other one. So we're going to finish this guy up pretty quick here. And I have a weird pick of the week.
Good, because I actually just realized I forgot pick of the week.
Let's skip pick of the week this week. I'm gonna do a shout out to John Tidy of the ReaperBlog.net. I think he does great tutorials every week, and I think you guys should check him out. So
Yeah.
all right, catch us at talkingaboutnoise.blogspot.com. Also check us out at talkingaboutnoise@gmail.com. We're on Twitter. I am at Artmore Studios. You are. at I am the swoop.
Yes, that's what it is.
We'll see you guys next week.
Next week.